Freeza may be Dragon Ball's most well-known supervillain, but he wouldn't be the last of his family we'd see. On this edition of Dragon Ball In Depth, we look back at the character history of Frieza's older brother, the arrogant and powerful Cooler.
この放送はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Although not a part of Akira Toriyama's original manga series, Cooler is an important character to the Dragon Ball Z anime movie continuity, not only because he provided a unique twist on one of Goku's greatest foes, but also because he's the first villain to be the centerpiece of not one, but two Dragon Ball Z movies. Like with almost all Dragon Ball Z movie villains, the concept of Cooler was created by Takao Koyama, but the actual character design was drawn by series creator Akira Toriyama himself. The same goes for Cooler's Armored Squadron. However, while Toriyama provided basic character designs for the previous movies, this marked the first time that he fully designed all of these characters, including height charts and colors, making it extremely easy for the anime staff. Cooler would be voiced by Ryusei Nakao, whom also voiced Freeza, but portrays the character accurately as an older and more mature brother. The same goes for Andrew Chandler, who portrayed Cooler in the dub. Cooler's design is very similar to that of his younger brother Freeza in his fourth form. However, he's much taller and does appear older with different colors. Cooler himself states that this is indeed his fourth form, and unlike his brother, he can rise to a higher fifth form, but more on that later. Most of the fanbase could easily figure out that Cooler's name pun followed the ice name puns of his family, like Frieza and King Cold. However, there is actually a deeper story to this, as was explained in Daizenshuu 6. His actual name is Kula, but Cooler isn't really incorrect. Producer Kozo Morishita was worried that naming him Cooler would be too direct and recalled that in his hometown of Shizuoka, you say Meshi Demo Kuda, which translates to let's chow down, and thus felt the name Kula would work. Wacky Dragon Ball history that nobody cares about except the uber nerds like me. Cooler's first appearance came in the form of the fifth Dragon Ball Z theatrical movie entitled Tobikiri no Saikyo Tai Saikyo, which translates to The Incredible Strongest vs. Strongest. When it was dubbed by Funimation, it was simply called Cooler's Revenge. A little too simple if you ask me. In the film, we find out Cooler was present during the final days of Planet Vegeta and Bardock's one-man revolt. During these events, Cooler's ship detected a lone shuttle carrying baby Goku to Earth. He was alerted of this, but decided against killing the child because this region of the universe was under the jurisdiction of his brother and wanted him to deal with his own mess. This mistake would prove to be costly for his entire family. About 27 years later, Cooler would discover to his shock that his brother was defeated at the hands of a Super Saiyajin, and decides to hunt down his brother's adversary and restore honor to his family. He traces Goku to Earth, and while he and his friends are camping, Cooler and his armored squadron of Dole, Sauza, and Knees attack our heroes, and Cooler paralyzes Goku with a single blast to his back, leaving him out of action for the majority of the movie. Later on, in the climax of the film, after taking a senzu that Gohan got for him, Goku makes a comeback and faces Cooler one-on-one. This is when Cooler reveals that he was able to reach a higher form than his brother, a fifth form. Although I feel that this form looks absolutely badass, what bothers me about this form is that it's a contradiction to what was in the manga. Frieza's base form, his birth form, is his fourth form that we see in the series, and his previous three forms were created by Freeza to conserve his power. So, is Cooler's fifth form his true birth form, or something he achieved through training his body to reach higher levels? The latter makes more sense, but is contradicted in 2015's Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, when the revived Frieza reveals that after training for 4 months, he unlocked a new evolution, Golden Frieza, which leapfrogged him over the majority of the series' villains. So are these two brothers just mutants who can manipulate their bodies at will and just decided to choose two different ways to change their bodies? There's no sense in overthinking this, it's just a contradiction. After all, this is a DBZ movie, which isn't part of the continuity and shouldn't be seen as such. Anyways, Cooler's fifth form reveals to be a challenge for Goku, but he bounces back, transforms, and fires Cooler into a star, never to be seen again, for about 7 months until this film's direct sequel, Gekitotsu Hyaku Oku Pawa no Senshitachi, aka Clash 10 Million Power Warriors, also known as The Return of Cooler, depicts, well, the return of Cooler. Borrowing ideas from a number of other science fiction and comic book sources, the film explains that although Cooler appeared to die after being blasted into this sun, Cooler's remains somehow were able to merge into a living mechanical machine called V'ger, the Big Getty Star, fusing with Cooler's essence and allowing him to take control of the nanotechnology and essentially build himself a new cybernetic body called Meta Cooler. Not Metal Cooler, that's a mistranslation. Cooler would take the Big Getty Star to planet New Namek to enslave the Namekians and use them to fuel the craft. Enter Goku and his friends, who arrive to save the day. During their fight, Cooler not only proved that his new body was tremendously more powerful than even the fifth form we saw in the last movie, but also he was a much smarter fighter, actually learning the instantaneous movement. Did Cooler make a pit stop on planet Yardrat before hitting New Namek? The movie doesn't say, but he became the first villain in the series to learn the technique, followed by Cell and Majin Buu. This time, Vegeta joined the fight, and together he and Goku were able to defeat Meta Cooler, but are horrified to discover that he was only one of 10 million Meta Coolers. The true form of Cooler's consciousness would be deep inside the Big Getty Star. Cooler attempted to drain Goku and Vegeta of their ki and use it to power the Big Getty Star, but Goku and Vegeta ignited their bodies and overloaded the system. After this, Goku and Vegeta had one final showdown with Cooler and put an end to him once and for all and saved the Namekians. We are unsure of how many planets Cooler actually is in control of, but the highest number stated is 256, and this information came from Daizenshuu 6 because Dore is from planet Cooler 256. In fact, the other members of his squadron appear to be born from planets that he was in control of previously, with Sauza hailing from planet 98 and Knees from planet 6. Cooler's armored squadron is basically his version of the Ginyu Force. The name puns for his henchmen are based on condiments, with Sauza being Thousand Island dressing, not salsa, as many folks believe. Dore is dressing, and Knees is mayonnaise, like mayonnaise. The concept of Cooler was always a cool idea, no pun intended. Much like his little brother, Cooler had his own branch of the Empire, presumably put together by King Cold, but we don't know that for sure. Cooler has shown to have somewhat of a sibling rivalry with his baby brother, however, his personality differs greatly. While Cooler is nowhere close to being a nice guy and is by all accounts a ruthless and vile dictator just like his brother, Cooler always came off more mature, intelligent, and focused than Freeza. Cooler never allowed his paranoia or his ego to get the best of him and truly wanted to test his skills against Goku rather than just toy with him. Unlike Freeza, Cooler appears to be more respectful and calculating, but he still has that same arrogance and considered himself the most powerful in the universe and would have never thought to have lost to a mere monkey, but he did, twice. Although Freeza is my favorite villain in Dragon Ball, Cooler has a special soft spot with me because when I first was collecting fan subs back in the late 90s, the two Cooler movies were the first fan subs that I owned, in Japanese, years before they got a Funimation home release, and I would watch them over and over again. So there's that special nostalgia with these films that will be in my heart forever. With that said, thank you for watching, and I will catch you down the road.